If you take your fishing seriously, chances are you're hooked on lures. If worm bait is like hamburger, then lures are like filet mignon. They attract fish by either mimicking the food they like, impersonating a minnow, for example, or by reflecting light. Lures come in many shapes and sizes. They can measure up to about 30 centimeters long and weigh as much as 400 grams, about as heavy as a cell phone. They're usually made of brass. This model is from a brass sheet that's less than a millimeter thick. It goes into a press that's outfitted with a series of dies to progressively cut and shape the lures, churning out 2,000 of them per hour. This looks like one fast operation, but it's really 4 consecutive steps. The first die stamps the company name and lure model number, punches a slot down the middle, and punctures a hole on each end. The second die scores the outline. The third cuts it out. The fourth and final die forms the piece into a spoon shape, which is why this type of lure is called a spoon. This shape makes it move in the water like a small fish. That blue object at the bottom right is an air jet. It blows the lures coming off the press into a collection bin. Lures vary in size, shape, and texture, and plating them in different metals creates different reflective effects in the water. All these factors determine the type of fish the lures attract. The metal plating process is called electroplating because electricity is the key to it all. Workers wire up the lures, submerge them in an acid solution, then run a negative current through them. They run a positive current to the plating metal, in this case copper nuggets. The acid dissolves the copper into particles laced with a positive charge. This draws them to the negative charged lures, which they coat in an even layer of copper. After a thorough rinse, the racks go into the next tank for nickel plating. Then another rinse and into another tank for silver plating, the final finish. Silver plating requires undercoats of copper and nickel. To prevent the silver from tarnishing, workers coat the lures in clear lacquer using the same plating process. Lures plated in 24-karat gold don't need lacquering because gold doesn't tarnish. Now for the cosmetics. One way to decorate the lure is by what's called pad printing. An automated machine applies ink to a metal plate with a design etched into it. A silicone pad stamps the plate, picking up the design, then stamps the lure, transferring it. This is a 2-color design, so there are 2 pads at work. It's quick-dry ink, so the colors don't smudge. Another way to decorate lures is to apply decals. They adhere with waterproof glue that's specially designed for the fishing industry. After decorating, workers attach a 3-pronged hook, a treble hook, to a split ring. That's the ring at both ends of the lure to which the fishing line and the hook will be attached. Some models have decorated hooks known as dressed hooks. The idea is to add a color accent to make the lure look more like the fish's prey. To do this, they first wind a nylon thread around the shaft of the hook, then trim off the loose end. Next, they lay together 2 different colored hackles. Hackles are the filaments of a rooster's neck feathers. They wrap them around the shaft of the hook on top of the nylon thread. The different colored feathers blend together, the filaments projecting from the head of the hook to disguise it. Workers wrap them with more nylon thread to secure them in place. Here, a decal is applied to a different style of lure, called a spinner, because it spins like a disco ball, reflecting light to attract the fish. The final step is to attach the hook to the lure. Depending on its complexity and number of platings, a lure takes between 45 minutes and 2 hours to make. That's a lot of specialized time and effort for fish bait that's nothing short of alluring.